is this chart serious right now? 17 days, 168% gains. This is ADA on the daily chart. We're going to dive into it. We're actually going to zoom in to the 4 hour because that's the only place I have any type of roadmap, any type of guidance and structure in terms of what's next for ADA on the short term. But we're going to talk about ADA price specifically in this video. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. Before we dive into the charts, the daily, the 4 hour, the weekly, the monthly, are you kidding me? Before we dive into it, I just want to start with a couple of things. This is how fast these things progress. Here's a post just under 40 cents from November 7th. Cardano is doing it almost at the same exact time as last cycle in November 2020. We go and we look at, especially the weekly chart. November 7th, right? Like kind of in this massive candle, this 20-week moving average being broken, and the 50-week being broken. It was this move. And the similarities in terms of time frame, we were tracking this. I just can't believe how the screen looks right now. So that's number one. Number two is this. This was in October, and this shows you, even if you don't hold a Cardano and you hold something else, this shows you how fast things can happen. So this was October 6th. I think October 6th, Cardano was trading at around, it was somewhere in here in the sideways area, around 35 cents, 34 cents. And I just posted, Cardano can easily be back above $1 between now and December. And some people will be flabbergasted. It can happen fast. Then $5 to $10 will finally look more realistic to them. Now, I should note, we're not back above $1. And I don't want to sit here overly confident, like it's definitely going to happen. But do you see how this chart progressed? Let me pull up this quick snapshot. I was just talking to my man Plutus. I got to start just bringing up our conversation in these videos just because we're just talking about ADA a lot and other things. But he points out some really nice pieces of data, and this is one of them. This candle has removed 2.5 years of down-only price action. It's insane. It really is insane. He's talking about the monthly candle. Look at the monthly candle right now. So, and there's 8 days, 22 hours. I don't know how it's going to close. We can monitor it. One thing specifically I'll be watching on this chart is this 50-month moving average. We didn't have this last cycle, this indicator. 50-month moving average around 72 cents. That's an important area for me. Cardano can consolidate anywhere above that area for the rest of this month. We can close above that area. I will be happy. But that's what I want to see on the monthly chart. I want to point out to you something. Everybody, just look at the momentum oscillators. Kind of similar vibes. I did Ethereum earlier, but look at this stock RSI just getting momentum to the upside. That's a quicker moving momentum oscillator. The RSI right here, just so much upside in terms of what a bull market is on the monthly RSI. You want to see what Cardano looks like just in a bull market, parabolic. It's all the way up here. We have a ways to go, right? So there's so much upside. We have this histogram. We have the MACD line separating from the signal line down here on this MACD. We have the histogram just above zero, getting momentum to the upside. Things are looking very nice on the monthly. So let's slowly dig into the charts and talk about what is going on. So as we just saw, we want to see monthly close above 72 cents. The weekly, interesting area, right around 75 cents, 75, 76 cents. So on the weekly, 2 days, 22 hours, I would really like to see this close. What I wanted to point out on this chart is this, though. A couple minutes ago, I just discussed the similarities in terms of ADA escaping and breaking and escaping this 20-week moving average last cycle at this time. This is what just happened. But when it did that last cycle, you can just see it took a month break. A lot of volatility right there. 3 weekly candles testing really the 20-week moving average. Here's where things are weird. That's different right now. And I don't know if this means we're about to be in for like a roller coaster ride of volatility to the downside potentially. But right now, ADA did not really consolidate yet. and we're overextended from the 20-week moving average over 100%. I say that not to be bearish. I'm not bearish. But I say that to just, if ADA needs to cool down for a month, I just want to make a note. It's what it did last cycle at this moment. We've already established on our charts that it's kind of beginning of December is when altcoin season if it historically plays out the same around beginning of December, altcoin season will kick off. So we still have weeks, right? A couple of weeks left. ADA can cool down. There's room for it. It could be time for it. And I just want to mention it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? I think we're in this environment now where all of the headline news surrounding Cardano, whether it's Bitcoin OS, SpaceX, elections, Charles advising the Trump administration, whatever it is, there is a lot of bullish headlines. So I don't know what consolidation will look like in that type of environment. Either way, it's crypto. No matter how bullish something looks, oftentimes there's consolidation. So we need to prepare. The daily chart, though, and I think it's going to be in the thumbnail. It's so good to look at this chart. How cool is this daily chart? It's pretty useless to me in terms of like finding any type of structure for the midterm. But I will say this in regards to what I just discussed in terms of a throwback, and then we'll talk about upside on the shorter term. Just a throwback consolidation. If ADA is going to cool down, it's consistently going to be the 20-day and the 50-day moving average for me. And I'm not saying we're going to 44 cents down here at the 50-day, but in bull environments, I don't know what structure will look like. You know, pulling into these moving average areas is just important to me. And the reason why it's important to me is because when you look back on any chart, in this case, this can be a Cardano chart. And obviously, it's not loading right now for me for some reason. But when you go back, and we can even actually use this swing high back here that we had earlier in, end of 2023 and 2024, just pulling into the moving averages is such a normal thing, whether it's a bull environment or even a bear environment. So I will look for any type of throwback and structure on the daily chart to those areas. With that being said, I do like to zoom in on these moves, right, to get some structure. And the 4-hour chart is helpful in that regard. That's what it looks like now. This was, this was a couple days ago. ADA was 76 cents and basically put out this post. Cardano took a rest for a couple days, putting in nice structure. It pulled into the 20-day moving average. It's at the apex of the symmetrical triangle. 90 cents is the target. So here's where we are. This wicked right below 90 cents. I would say we've hit the target. Now we have something else going on here. We have kind of new structure, which I also posted about a little bit earlier today. And Cardano was around 81 cents. I just said, Cardano wants $1. I don't think you're ready. And here's the structure. So this is where we are. And interestingly enough, and by the way, this could play into short-term consolidation, sideways, choppiness, down. We are testing this upper trend line now of that area. So when I posted that, you can see ADA was kind of down here, kind of hovering in the center. And now in this structure, you can see it's popped out of it, but it's testing it. Right now, this is a 4-hour chart. There's a little over an hour left of this candle. It will be interesting to see if we kind of just close below this upper trend line. But just notice we had the kind of this upper trend line touch back here. 1, 2. This is the third one, right? And we've had some consolidation at the lower trend line. We might fall back into this entire range. And by the way, that's a range. There is a target to the upside. It's above $1. It's around $1.05. But there's also going to be, if ADA starts falling to the lower trend line, there will be a target to the downside, probably in the lower 60s. So that could play into our consolidation that we're talking about. The consolidation that if we look at, last cycle, all in this consolidation back here after the really similar move, that type of playing out on this weekly chart, it could be kind of reflected here on this 4-hour chart. So just keep that in mind. There's targets to the downside. Even in bull environments, there's targets to the downside. There's throwbacks to key moving averages. So lower 60s, target to the downside, target to the upside, $1.05. And if you go back to the daily chart, just to give you an idea, lower 60s, right? If it were to fall, I want to really put that out there. 20-day moving average just below 60 cents. 50-day moving average, 44 cents. So, and it's not like it happens immediately, but if it just trickles sideways, starts falling, these moving averages pull up into ADA, right? So the 20-day could be above 60 cents, could be 65. The 50 could be all the way up here in the 50s. And then ADA is consolidating in that general area to cool off and put in its structure for the next leg up through $1 if it doesn't happen in the shorter term. So I really just want to pace ourselves. It's fun, especially, I mean, ADA is so close to $1. It would be phenomenal if I upload the video, and it's cooling down as I'm recording. This always happens, by the way. I see ADA moving, I sit down to record, and it just stops. Maybe I go and I upload the video, I go relax, and maybe it'll start again. But right now, pretty insane to see. ADA is just like a 16% move from $1. That could happen so fast in terms of Cardano. We saw how fast 150+% gains can happen. So that move to $1 can happen very, very fast, like within hours, really. So this is the analysis I wanted to do on Cardano, just an update, and really an update even on the short-term price action, because there can be a lot of volatility in store. I know it's hype. I know it's cool. Right now we're at resistance. We'll be curious to see how ADA interacts really with exactly where it's trading right now, around 86 cents. Even in the next hour, I'll be curious to see how it interacts. We might get a cool off where ADA just needs to just kind of trickle back down to 80s, even below. And a lot of that might also depend on what the rest of crypto is doing. I want to make a note. XRP making a really nice move to a higher high, $1.35. That could be a nice little indicator for us. XRP has kind of been leading the way in terms of a lot of recent price action. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. And we might see ADA hit $1 sooner than later if XRP is any hint. But let's just track it. Let's see. And again, let's just pace ourselves. That's what I'm doing. So hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Turn notifications on. This is my third video for the day, and I think I'm done for the day. And I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Your support really helps, and it means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.